Well, good afternoon, tax dodgers. Welcome back to Fishing with the Fat Boy. I am the Fat Boy, and today I have another tackle talk with the Fat Boy. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very important component you need in your rigs if you are using any sort of braid. Stand by.
Okay, let's go.
Welcome back, tax dodgers. Recently I talked about braid. It is without a doubt one of the biggest innovations in fishing history, in the Fat Boy's opinion. However, if you use braid, you also need to use leader material as well. There's a couple of very, very important reasons why you need to use a leader. I'll step you through those in a sec. Welcome back. So, leaders, why do we need to use them? Braid, whilst it is inherently strong, due to its construction, its woven construction, it doesn't tolerate any sort of abrasion very well at all. So, if you are fishing around rocks, snags, barnacles, logs, jetties, anything like that, and your beautiful braid rubs against it, you are in a position of peril because your line can go ping and part company. And that's just due to the braided nature of the line. It's strong, but it just doesn't tolerate any form of abrasion at all. So, for that reason, we should always run a leader from your braid to your terminal, whether that's a hook and sinker for a bait fish, or a clip or a lure for trolling or casting. How much leader is appropriate? What's the Fat Boy about? 6'3" or 4? No, he's not. The Fat Boy's 5'10", so you're as wide as you are tall, I'm told, so that's what I run. About 5'10" a leader, and that's enough. So that's a good size. So that's the first reason. You will stop that abrasion. Second reason is that your braid, it is said, is not invisible to fish. Not as invisible as a leader anyway. Braid, even though it's woven construction, it is still a solid line. A solid piece of line. And it is said that if that runs straight down to your lure, straight down to your bait, it's far more visible than if you are running a leader. So there is another really, really good reason to be running a leader to your bait or to your lure. The third thing, tax dodgers, and in lure fishing circles this is very important, is that with your braid, your super lines, there is absolutely zero stretch. You've got 100% contact with your lure. Now, there's a school of thought that says you need a little bit of shock absorption, and your leader will provide that. If you've got, a couple of meters of leader, there's always a bit of give in that, and that gives you that bit of shock absorption. And I'm told, and I do believe, that this will result in less lost fish due to poor hookups, short strikes and things like that. You get that little bit of an opportunity to keep the hooks in the fish. Always very, very important. Okay, so that's why you should use a leader when you're using the super lines, your braids. There's two different types. I'll come back in a sec and I'll tell you what to use and how to use it. Back soon. Welcome back, tax dodgers. When the Fat Boy first started using braid, I just went out and bought a 300 metre spool of Jack Erskine's Penn Super X line, monofilament, and I just stripped 2 metre lots of that off whenever I needed a leader, and it was quite good. These days, there is dedicated leader material, and there's two different types. The first one I want to talk about is your genuine, your old school monofilament leader. You will hear me talk a lot about Penn Super X. That's the evolution of the old Jack Erskine one, and this is a dedicated chock leader in monofilament. That one's from Penn. There's one from J-Thread. They are both very, very good monofilaments. The beauty of the monofilament in the leader material is it's priced really, really well. It's not an expensive leader. It will give you a little bit of flotation. If you're using, for example, a floating surface lure, you'll get a bit of flotation. It offers reasonably good resistance against any abrasions, and the knots will pull up just nicely like you would with a normal monofilament. So that's the first style that you can find. The second one, a little bit more advanced, is your fluorocarbon leaders. These are a little bit more technically advanced as far as leader material is concerned. They say they're a little bit more abrasion resistance than your standard monofilament. They're not quite as supple as your monofilament, so you need to be a little bit more careful with your line, with your knots. And the fluorocarbon sinks, so you need to be careful in your usage as well. A lot of the time it won't make any difference. They do say that the fluorocarbon is less visible to fish, so that's certainly a big plus in that favour. So, and you will pay a little bit more for your fluorocarbon, but hey, it's a little bit more advanced too, so it's probably worth a few extra bucks. So there it is, tax dodgers. That's the Fatboy's guide to leader material. As I said before, if you are using any of your braids, you must run a leader, otherwise you'll cost yourself fish. It's up to you. The monofilament leader, the monofilament's been good as gold, it goes well. Spend a little bit more on your fluorocarbon leader, you'll get a little bit more abrasion resistance, but be a little bit more careful with your knots. But you do need to run it. Anyway, that's it. Drop a comment in the string. Let me know what you use. Yeah, it's really, really important. Okay, you have been watching Fishing with the Fatboy. I am the Fatboy, and this has been Tackle Talk with the Fatboy. And I will see you next time. Darky out.